at National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management, MANAGE, Hyderabad. I welcome you all to the third evening of Learning webinar series. This webinar series has 3 themes with 4 sub-themes in each. Our first webinar started in the year 2022 with total 12 webinars and 2025 participants, followed by 632 participants in the year 2023. This year, we have covered 2 series with 8 webinars and 412 participants. This is our third evening of the Learning webinar series. This session focuses on innovative technologies in agricultural extension, exploring transformative tools shaping agriculture's future. With a diverse audience of PG and PhD students, faculty and industry experts, Evening for Learning thrives on the exchange of ideas and expertise. Over the next 4 days, esteemed speakers will delve into topics like gamification, drone technology, augmented and virtual reality, and artificial intelligence for agricultural extension. I encourage you all to actively engage and ask questions. Without any further delay, I would like to call my fellow intern, Ms. Anusha, to introduce our first speaker.
Thank you, Sakshi. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker of today's Evening for Learning webinar series, Altan Turel sir. Altan sir is the product manager at Lidea Girisim and co-founder and managing director of Agriknow, where he spearheads innovative projects integrating AI and IoT technologies to transform agricultural practices. He is a certified gamification implementer and a passionate leader dedicated to transforming agriculture through technology and gamification. Growing up in farming communities, he saw the challenges farmers face and set out to find solutions that boost productivity and protect the environment. By combining elements of play, competition, and rewards, he engages farmers in innovative ways, blending tradition with the digital age. Alton's work focuses on building resilient food systems through technology, creativity, collaboration, driving positive change for both farmers and society. We are excited to hear from him, so please join me in welcoming Altan sir. Over to you, sir.
Hi again. Thanks for this warm welcome, and you all welcome. So let me share my screen first. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Okay. So you can see, right? So today I want to talk with you about the enrichment of agricultural practices by the power of gamification. So maybe some of you heard about gamification methodologies, but the gamification isn't just the points, just the badges, just leaderboards. It's more about motivation. I mean, inner motivation, building some habits. So first, I want to introduce you the gamification first. But before it, I want to tell something about myself. So I studied mining and agricultural engineering in Turkey. Then I made a supply chain management master in MIT in 2010. Nowadays I'm doing my PhD from University of London on software development. I already founded 3 startups yet. Both 3 of them are in agri-food sector. And I involved in some startup ecosystems around the globe. So when it comes to gamification can be explained like this. Gamification is the application of game mechanics in non-game contexts. Like you have a very boring real life event, real life procedure, or a project in your work, and you can use gamification methods to improve the engagement of the people into the project. So you should solve a real world problem. That's the basic need of gamification. And you will use formulas like leaderboards, badges, points, etc., challenges, maybe. And it should resonate with habit building, as I said before. If you can't build a new habit from your users, then your gamification methods will fail. So, why it works? It works in very diverse areas. Maybe you heard about Duolingo. It's the most well-known gamified application in the world. But why is it working? Because it responds to incentives of the rewards and the friend competition with the humans. Okay, humans need some dopamine. You know dopamine, I think. Human needs dopamine, and gamification give that dopamine to the people. So, why agriculture needs gamification? Okay, we need to we need more engaged farmers in our world. The world population is growing, and the young farmers population is decreasing. Unfortunately, we need more engaged young farmers in the ecosystem. When the tasks are so complex, then the young farmers won't engage in the process, in the farming process. That's the big trouble. And we need to train farmers. As you know, mostly the agriculture is doing in the farming is in urban, in developing countries, in third world countries mostly. And in those areas, the small scale farmers especially need some training. We can use gamification for training, for better training. And we need data from the farms, from the field. I mean, 70% of the world's farming population is small scale, and all those small scale farmers has got a very huge big data that we have to collect those data, and we have to make some good decisions, some good insights to serve them better. And we need a community in farming. It can be local community, it can be global community, no matter. We need better community building in farming to do better practices. And when it comes to gamification mechanics again, so we use points. Just imagine your applications that you are using, okay, or the games. You are achieving something and you are gaining some points to do some investments or to just buy some stuff in your application, right? And you gain some badges, okay? For example, you earn the most effective player or the best player of the month, okay? Or the best player of the year. So you gain some badges during your gamified applications. And we use leaderboards because people need feedbacks. That's the most important part of gamification. People want to see the feedbacks. You are here now, or you can go there. You will decrease to the lower league, or you can increase your level to the next level. That's also makes the motivated farmers or motivated users in gamification. And also, we are using quests and challenges. These are not the game mechanics, but we are using challenges and quests to take people in the flow. There was a guy, Csikszentmihalyi. He has a flow theory. It's a very common theory in gamification. We need to take people in a flow. It should be you should give some quests, some challenges to the people that will fit with their abilities, but that won't bore them. If it's so easy, they will get bored and they won't be engaged. Or if they are so hard, again, they will not be motivated to go through and they will demotivate again. So you have to use the flow theory from Csikszentmihalyi for building the quests and challenges. And for tools and technologies, Srinivas will mention about these tools to you. So I will directly pass this to the end, okay? But I will continue with implementing the gamification in agriculture. So first, you have to identify the goals. It can be increasing sustainability, improving yield, or fostering the collaboration. But first, you have to identify your goal, and it should be a real-world goal. And then you will design engaging rewards. That should be meaningful badges, okay? Like if you are making an farming application, you shouldn't use some badge names that are not relevant to farming, okay? And you can use some financial incentives. We will come to that point. And you should test and iterate your model, okay? You should start with pilot projects. It's like MVP for startup ecosystem. You should gather feedbacks from farmers, and you should refine your system according to those feedbacks. I know the farmers are very tough persona for gamification because they are not tech savvy, but they will be using those technologies in the recent years. So we should get ready for that level. And at the end of your gamification, you should measure the impact from the users. I mean, in this part, from farmers. You should track changes in productivity. You should track the resource usage, or you can track the user satisfaction. What we were talking about the habit building by gamification. So if it comes to habit building, you should measure the impact that you gave to your users or to the farmers. So first, you should start with building a persona. You should very well know your audience, okay? Who is your persona? Where he is or she is living, their hobbies, their engagement processes, the social media tools that they are using, the coffees that or the places that they are visiting, the city they are living, their economic condition, everything. You should know your persona very well. Then you should build a face, okay? For example, in application or in web surface, okay, interface, you should use some phases. First, discovery. People or users, or in this case, your farmers, will discover your product. It can be your application, your web, as I said, okay? They will discover from billboards, from your handouts, or from social media. They will discover. Then you will onboard them in your application or web by asking their names, asking about their products that they are producing, the plants they are producing, or their basic data that they can share while they're onboarding. Then you will prepare some behavioral loops. I will come to that point later. But it should be really about habit building. Okay, then your gamification process can be sustainable. Then you will reach those farmers and users to the master level. That is the best part of the gamification methods. If you engage your users, like 10% of them are in master level, then it means that you've done very well. So here is the hook model. It's the best model of gamification, maybe. Maybe you heard about it. Okay, you put some thing on your hook, like the carrot for rabbits. Okay, something like this. You give something, and then you will achieve another thing. Like first, it comes with trigger. Okay, it can be external trigger or internal trigger. The internal triggers are the best ones, but if it's external, it's okay. Okay, you will start with a trigger. Then your user will go to action part. It will do something. They will share their data, or they will complete a quest, or they will complete and challenge. Okay, something like this. They will do something. They will do some action. Then you will give them some reward, maybe some coin, some coupons, something that can build their own avatars in their application. Okay, something like this. You will give some rewards. Then they will do some investments. Okay, it's like user contribution. Okay, as the example here, the farmer enters new data like the day's fertilizers usage or observed pest activity, so something like this. Okay, and then they will use those data to customize their crop plans. Okay, that's the investment part of the gamification. Then you will take this farmer, this user, to the trigger point again after the investment. Okay, you did this one. Okay, let's do the other one. Let's achieve the first part in this league, in this leaderboard. Okay, something like this. You will trigger again, and they will start this loop continuously. If you take a user into this behavioral hook model loop continuously, then you will achieve very good points. So this is the Saps methodology for rewards. It's the very important part of gamification, because you are giving some rewards. Okay, in the top of the pyramid there is status. Okay, for example, you can give a farmer eco-innovator badge, eco-innovator certificate, or something like this. Then they achieve 20% improvement in their soil health. Okay, that's a status. You can give some access to the farmers. Okay, like top rank green champions get early access to some seed varieties or some facilities, something like this. Okay, and then you can give them power, like highly engaged farmers earn the right to moderate discussion forums on sustainable practices, or they can be able to speak with the leaders of the agriculture in India, or they can be represented in some events. Okay, they can gain some power. And in the basement of the pyramid there is stuff. Stuff means like you can give some coupons, some free soil testing kits, or some free pesticides, some free seeds or seedlings, something like this. An element you can give them, an item. But the thing is that here, when you go down in the pyramid, the cost rises. it's most costly thing in the basement of the pyramid. But if you go to upper side of the pyramid, it's like more inner motivation. So we want this one to be used in the gamification, the status part. You can use stuff, that's okay. You can use power, that's okay. You can use access, that's okay. But your aim should be reaching the status part. If you engage your users with just status, okay, that's more sustainable way of using gamification in your process. So let's talk about some case studies or some examples in agriculture. It's Agriknow, it's my application, it's my startup. We are collecting the data from farmers with our AI-based gamified application, and then we are serving a SaaS platform to the suppliers. So in this practice, I validated my gamification methods with 2,000 of farmers in southeast of Antalya in Turkey, and all of them were asking me about the stuff for reward. So it was bad for me, but it will be a good experience for us because now we know our persona better. So in this example, we learned that the farmers want stuff as rewards. So Stoller, it's an Italian fertilizer company. We made a gamification process for Stoller Turkey to engage farmers in their applications. And we generated 4 different games for Stoller. These are all the games, and I will share my presentation, and then maybe they can send them to you. You can check them, okay? And the most one was the Weekly, okay? It was about doing some challenges between the farmers. It was about building a community, building a contribution between the farmers, and then Stoller made 32% of revenue increase after this gamification method. 32% of revenue increase. It's a very huge amount for Turkey. And maybe you know the farming simulator. Is there anybody played it? You can play with your Netflix account. It's a very good game, but it's not gamification, but it's a serious game. It's between game and gamification. It's a serious game. But we can use this serious game on the farmers to gamify their practices. Okay? For example, new young farmers can be educated with this method. You can just scan the QR code and you can reach the paper of University of Reading from UK. Then, so also we have got some challenges, of course, because we know technological barriers. As I said, the farmers are in rural areas, and in some areas we have lack of internet. Maybe somewhere there is no internet, no electricity, so that can be a big problem. Cultural acceptance, okay, like the population of farmers are old, okay, like 50 plus, so it can be very hard to accept those changes in their life. And scalability and cost, of course. When you use technology, okay, it brings some costs, some expenses to the farmers that they should face time to time. And data security, that's the biggest part. While technology involves in farming, now the biggest problem in agricultural technologies is the data security. For future outlook, maybe Srini will talk about this after me. But yeah, we will use blockchain. We will use AI. We will use next generation connectivities to improve our gamification methods. Younger generations will be more involved in farming, and we will build some bridges between the generations, okay? Because there is a very big gap between generations. The older generation has got the knowledge, the younger generation has got the manpower, but there isn't a bridge that can connect them together. So gamification can do this very easily. And at the end, we can use gamification for more sustainable and regenerative farming. We can give farmers some quests, some challenges that they can achieve to gain something. And with the right tools, it can enhance the productivity and the sustainability of the farming practices. So, thank you for listening to me. If you got any questions, I'm here to answer, and you can just scan my LinkedIn QR code to be connected with me. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Altan, sir. You were truly correct that there is a need for more engaged farmers and youth, and they will be using gamification in future. And you were truly right that humans respond more to incentives. And the hook model explained it very well that if there will be an external trigger, then only farmers will feel the internal trigger, and that will ultimately give them some incentives. Thank you, sir. We'll doing the question answer session after the second presentation.
Okay then.
Now I would like to invite my fellow intern to introduce our next speaker.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's webinar session, Mr. Srinivas Tet. Mr. Srinivas is a digital technology specialist with a strong foundation in agriculture sciences, holding a master's in agriculture from Angru Rajendranagar. His unique blend of agriculture expertise and digital innovation was demonstrated during his tenure at ICRISAT as Senior Technical Officer, where he bridged the gap between agriculture research and digital communication. Currently serving as project manager at Space Inventive, he leads a creative team of 20 plus professionals developing innovative digital solutions for agriculture education and extension. With over 18 years of experience spanning e-learning, development, multimedia, and digital technology, Mr. Srinivas specializes in transforming complex concepts and knowledge into accessible digital content. Now, we are excited to have him here today and look forward to his thought-provoking PPT. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Srinivas. Thank you. It's up to you now.
Hi, Anamika. Thank you. Thank you for your intro. And thank you, sir, Altan, sir, for your insightful session. I really appreciate that session. Now I'll try to augment whatever is possible from my end. I'm trying to share the screen. Screen. This is my thing. Just a minute. I want to see. Okay. I hope you are able to see my screen. Someone.
Yes, sir.
Tell.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. This is gamification for agriculture. I'm trying to go through building how your gaming toolkit from ideation to gameplay. Altan has gave an overview about how to develop, what is the impact, how to create impact, and all those things. I'll try to go through that. This is briefly about me. Like I have MS Agriculture, then I worked in AgriSat as a senior technical officer. Then most of my career, I have been working in e-learning content development and e-learning games development, that kind of situations. Right now, over the last 3 years, I'm working in a Space Inventive as a project manager, handling around 20-25 people, doing primarily 3D animations, 3D projects, e-learning projects for different clients and everything. Right now, for example, this one, can you able to see this video? Is it possible?
Yes, sir.
Achha. This is just, I want just to understand a small sample. This is actually a game for an hotel. We developed the game where it's real time. It is present on the web, but it's an internal tool. It's not open to everyone. Where the people can use these buttons to see how it's accommodated for a presentation kind of thing, how it is accommodated for different situations. Because the hotel provides the space, and the customer can see how it can be customized into different kinds of things. That is, I don't have right now the application, but the small sample I have video. Like this, we have different. This is our office, actually, earlier office. Recently, we shifted here. We want to develop this in metaverse. Actually, that's the reason we developed the exactly as it is. This is completely 3D created. This thing, and today I want to say that I'm a practitioner, not like a thing. This is. Can you able to see this screen? Like internal
Yes, sir.
teams.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is today's feedback from a client actually. So we are developing right now one 3D walkthrough for an international school in Hyderabad. These are all we are developing, and the client gave like especially on classroom, on a classroom. He gave we developed a regular kind of classroom. They gave the detailed feedback. This is today's feedback. Even while I was preparing this presentation, I'm continuously involving with all these guys. So I hope you understood. I'm actively involved in 3D and all those things. Now we'll come back to our presentation. This session, I divided into primarily 2-3 categories like game development, process, people, and tools. These are the core 3 categories of people in what is that areas involved in game development. Then primarily from agriculture point of view, how to generate game ideas. I've taken Paddy package of practices. Even I brainstormed so many other game ideas, but it's not possible to show it here. Then you guys, how you guys can generate game ideas for agriculture very easily by using different tools. At last, you guys can have a Q&A session with Altan and me. Game development, as you in earlier session, Altan mainly focused on impact, how to create impact, and what to do, and all those things. But my focus is primarily on the process, people, and tools. Imagine if any game design and development process involves primarily these 3 stages. It can be represented in a different way also. Like pre-production means ideation stage. First, you have to come up with ideas. Then you have to brainstorm that game into refined idea. After that, we have to go to the design stage. This is an IT company. I'm working in IT company. Almost on a daily basis, we have meetings where people talk about prototyping. People talk about iterations. That future is not required. This future is not required. On paper itself, in the beginning, they prepare the documentation for that for different kinds of applications. So software application development is even game application. Both are applications only. Game is more specifically towards asset development, more of visual development, 3D, 2D assets development that includes, but remaining part, the coding part and all those things comes under the design, development, and testing phases, where artists, programmers, and technical directors are involved. And the post-production, imagine once we develop the game, now the testers comes into the picture, they play the game. Here, the people test the software. They give the feedback to the people, means developers, and either designers or developers will look into that, just like what we are doing. Like, for example, we developed the entire walkthrough of the school, then I submitted to the client. The client gave the feedback that no, here we need this kind of thing, that kind of things. Then we try to again, we go back and we try to implement those things. Right now we are implementing, and probably by Monday or Tuesday we'll again we share them, and then we get the, just like in the beginning they give the bigger feedbacks. Slowly it is like a funnel, minute things they'll come into the picture. But this is the entire process, like ideation, then idea refinement. Here, for example, if it is agriculture game, subject matter experts means, imagine we are developing agronomy based game, then agronomy person should be there. What software the programmers or designers can't do anything. They are, the subject matter expert has to guide them, and he has to tell them clearly what is paddy package of practices, or how entire seed to seed things will happen, so that those things can be gamified, something like that. Then all the design and testing process happens, finally deploying on the either mobile application or desktop application, either Google Play or Apple thing, wherever is possible, either both online and offline. Same thing can be represented like primarily brainstorming, design it, prototype it, test it, publish it, in between change it. It's like a lot of loops are involved. Even though it looks very simple, in real game development, we go through multiple stages like this. Iterative process. We call it as iterative process. It's not like a linear approach. We go to some extent, we come back, we go to some extent, we come back. It's like mm, mm, moving two steps, coming one step back, again moving two steps, one step coming back kind of approach. Either it is any kind of design, not only game design, software development, game development, or um, even regular graphic design work, video development, all those things. This is about process. Then people. The next part is majorly people, the skilled people. There are so many people. This is very basic representation, like concept developers, subject matter experts. Generally, in the beginning, concept developers and subject matter experts from agriculture will involve in the beginning stage. That is the initial on paper stage. Then the design comes. Here you can see project managers and whoever may be the project manager, he will come into the picture. Subject matter come into the picture. Even concept artists come into the picture, because initially they have to build the entire concept for that game. That is what then later programmers comes into the picture, because designing, development, and deployment, and testing phase, these are the 5 stages of any software development or game development. The first one is ideation and concept development, then the designing stage, then the next one is development stage, means primarily coding part. They use different tools. I'll show what are the different tools available to develop the software or a game. And the lastly, deployment. They have to, after testing, they have to deploy somewhere for the people to access it, either online cloud based or offline, like internet. If it is an internal game, we have to deploy on the device. But these are the people involved, like artists, designers, programmers, sound engineers. If it is in a complex, if it is a really big project, it may be like can be shown like this. If it is, imagine a game studio flowchart kind of thing. Initially, the studio owner, CEOs, investors, producer, later project manager come into the picture. Who is the project manager? He takes care of primarily implementing that project, converting the idea into implementation part, what people are required and everything. Lead developer, lead level designer, tools developer, game designer, storyboard artists. The people are very important, along with the process. Like you learned the 5 stages, right? You understood the 5 stages of game development: ideation, design, develop, deploy, and what is that, publish, marketing, or whatever you call. In all the phases, different people, are skilled people are involved. In the primarily in the what is that, concept development and initial phase, primarily subject matter experts and concept developers and what is that initial. Then design part, primary in designing, mostly multimedia team will come into the picture, both 2D games and 3D games. Like they have to develop different kinds of assets like character designs and character assets, 3D character assets. We worked on multiple characters in the last 4 or 5 years for different games. Then developers come into the picture. They use coding as their primary tool to build the interactions and all those things. Finally deploy. Then later it goes to deployment. They publish onto the platforms. So what is the tools and technologies? If it comes to technologies, engines, for every game development, for every game design and development, there are specific tools are there. Primarily, if it is a 3D game, Unity is most commonly used consumer level and user friendly tool is Unity. In a similar way, Unreal Engine is very good for visually complex applications can be built, visually complex games can be built using Unreal Engine. I'm very good in Unreal Engine, but my primarily into the cinematics kind of thing. We use Unreal Engine for developing cinematics. What you saw, the 3D visuals, even the hotel, everything we did in Unreal Engine. That's an interactive application. People can click the buttons, they can change the chairs, they can change it as a theater, they can change it as a presentation place, and they can change into other things also. Unreal Engine, Unity, Game Maker, there are multiple tools are there, but these Unreal Engine and Unity are the most famous right now. They are industry standard. They exist there for almost 20-25 more than years. Asset creation, I told you, asset Maya and Blender. Right now we are using Blender and Maya in our office. Generally they create assets here, they take it into the Unreal Engine or Unity to render and final presentation. That is the thing. In Maya we created these the buildings and everything. Then we are taking it into Unreal Engine. There is a process called export, FBS export. It's very easy. It's a matter of just we have to select and we have to export into the. They know Maya and Unreal Engine knew that it is coming as an asset like that. Once after developing these things, then programmers come into the picture, like blueprints. There is a non-coding way of developing in Unreal Engine called blueprint. Even the programming languages are there, like for Unity it's a C# and there are multiple programming languages are there. And sound design, Audacity, open source software, you can use Audacity and FMOD and other free tools available, whatever the tools available. If you do basic research, you can get it. These are the tools and technologies of the game development side. There are, if you go to, just I explained all these things, graphics and animation, Photoshop, Illustrator, complete Adobe Suite is useful. Along with that, Maya and Blender, asset creation, game engines, Unreal Engine and Unity and all those things. And developments, integrate developments at VS Code and many other tools are there. Frameworks, even custom built games are can be developed based on different things. Only thing is you need to do some basic research. By using whatever, imagine someone wants to develop a game, they have to understand what is the process. Okay, at concept level, what I have to do. Then at what is that, at design stage, what tools I need. At development stage, what tools is need. If you are from a government organization, you have to use like generally open source or free tools can be used, something like that. Based on this, you can do the research. Game development. These are I covered like process, people, and tools. The primary thing is game idea, right? Just I will go through some ideas. We'll come to know in 5 minutes. It is very easy to develop game ideas nowadays, especially with AI tools and everything. See, Paddy package of practice. I took an example. Paddy package of practices as a what is that area in agriculture to develop the games. For example, I came up with all these game ideas in a very short time, like not more than 1 hour, 2 hours kind of thing. I used, of course, ChatGPT and other AI tools to generate all these things. See, Paddy Hero, Paddy Quiz Battle, Pest Detective, Water Wizard, Fertilizer Match, something like that. I will go through some ideas. We can't go through all those things, but some, at least 1 to 2, will understand. See, Paddy Hero, a step-by-step cultivation game. Concept is farmers play a paddy hero who progresses through different stages of paddy cultivation cycle. Like, mm, sorry if I tell any terms wrong, because almost 20 years are over. Like puddling, like seedling, and then sowing, sorry, initially, so every stage of this thing, even until harvesting the crop. Mm, all the stages can be developed as a game steps kind of thing, so that they can play the game. Like levels represent different phases, like land preparation, seed selection, sowing, water management, pest control, harvesting, post-harvest processing. Earn points for completing each step correctly, like selecting high quality seeds or applying right amount of fertilizers. Bad decisions like over irrigation or excessive pesticide usage reduce points and provide educational feedback. Objective is successfully grow and harvest a high yield paddy crop with minimal environmental impact. This kind of game, the farmers or students or even regular people can play, and they learn entire package of practices. And you are not giving any exact numbers or anything. They have to implement. You will give the range. This much urea they have to give at this particular stage, especially based on timing and all those things. If they don't know, if they do something, automatically the game itself will give the negative points, and they will give the feedback then and there itself. That is one thing. Then simple quiz battle to test the knowledge of the paddy. This is primarily useful in especially agriculture universities. They can use this kind of applications to test the knowledge. Imagine nowadays everyone is fearing what is the use of education, how to test the people, because they can use like AI tools kind of thing. No, this kind of applications we can use, and we can test the what is that learners capabilities, learners grading in a proper way. Like a paddy water wizard challenge, like kind of thing. Concept: teach water management techniques for paddy cultivation in a gamified way. Farmers manage irrigation systems in a simulated paddy field to maintain optimal water levels. Challenges include droughts, water watering risks, and identifying appropriate irrigation timings. Earn points for conserving water while ensuring proper crop health. Object: ensure sustainable water usage and improved understanding of water saving practices, like alternate wetting and drying kind of things. You can take any aspect of the process, and we can this thing, even pest cultivation kind of thing. A mystery solving game where farmers identify pests and diseases affecting paddy crops. Players are presented with scenarios like yellowing leaves, and they have to identify which pest is creating that yellowing of leaves, or damaged grains, or whatever the entire package of practices can be used. Entire diseases and insects can be used. Their symptoms can be used to identify in that game. Imagine they are visiting the field, and they are taking the task of identifying why the crop is becoming yellow. Just like regular life, agriculture officers go to visit. If someone visit the field and they identify something is wrong, they have to identify then and there only, right? In a similar way, this game can be used to identify the pests and diseases. Educate farmers about pest education. Not only farmers, here we used farmers, but even agriculture for learning community, universities and um, learning community, research communities can use this thing. Paddy fertilizer match formula, a puzzle game to teach correct fertilizer application rates and timings. Urea, something else can be interlinked, and they have to match properly so that they can understand. With this thing, what Altan told, like points, badges, these all things should be combined. Whatever he gave in that presentation, I am more into like simplification of the entire thing. He is more into more technical thing, how to develop applications kind of thing. Um, Paddy Planner. I liked this actually. Entire strategy game focused on planting the entire paddy season. Players are tasked with managing resources like labor, water, fertilizer. This is a wonderful game, right? Imagine you are giving 1 acre to the player. He has to produce by using all the combinations of how much labor he is going to use and how much water he has to use, how much fertilizer he has to use, what is the budget. Even you are giving the budget also, like you are going, I'm going to give you only 10,000 rupees, Indian rupees. So I don't know exactly what is the number, but give like that, so that they have to manage that amount for all these activities like labor, fertilizer, pesticides, irrigation, everything, final harvesting, and selling the crop in the market. Everything can be planned as a game, and plan activities, planting, weeding, pest control, and all those things. So I hope you understood. Every aspect can be gamified. That is my very important statement I want to give. Take the package of practices, or take the entire pest ecosystem, or disease ecosystem, or entire things, break down into smaller things, and each thing can be gamified, so that the people can understand very easily. They can play. You can start small, like levels. There in games there are levels, right? Beginning easy levels, and slowly once they're going up and up. Of course, this is the future, no doubt about it. This is the future of even education and all kinds of learning. People will see it in reality by 2030 in our universities and everywhere. So how to generate game ideas? I can't go deep, but just first and foremost is the best tool is brain. I always say, not only here, everywhere I say, use this. The most important tool is brainstorming to generate the ideas. Just now, just sit there, entire crop package of list all the package of practices or whatever you want in agriculture, from farming community or learning community, or from whatever the point of view might be. Just list out all the things and ask how can it be converted into a game idea. Anything and everything which includes data can be gamified. Means numbers, measurement. If there is a measurement, if there is a prediction kind of thing, that can be gamified. The first tool is, of course, you guys are PhD, and already I saw from Manage, means you guys are already equipped with this one. Just you need little bit of energy, little bit of motivation to do that. For example, I'm more into specialized into AI, so immediately I asked this one how I generated those games in a short amount of time. So this is the prompt I used. Give me some game ideas to implement in gamification of Paddy package of practices. See, here are some engaging game ideas for the gamification of package practices. This is the thing it gave. It almost asked for 10 ideas. It gave 10 ideas. Then I asked give me game ideas for insects on Paddy. I did not keep in the slides, but it gave another 10. I asked just focus on agronomy aspects of the paddy, agronomy aspects of the groundnut, something like that. I asked, it is giving a lot of ideas. I'm not saying what is that? This is the end of everything, but take them, work on them, and iterate them. Imagine out of those 10 ideas, I may go with one idea after consulting with subject matter experts and after consulting with the team and everyone. That's the thing. So everywhere, AI can be used in every stage of the entire pipeline, game development pipeline, conceptualization, production, pre-production, testing, polishing, launch, post-launch. Everywhere you can use AI tools so that anyone can do. My intention of keeping AI is even you may be thinking, okay, how can I develop games if I'm only one person in the department? No, you have right now the best co-workers or co-pilots. That is AI tools. You can use AI tools. You can start building prototypes, and you can show it to your departmental heads to get the permissions and everything. So again, I'm saying the same thing. Every aspect of agriculture can be gamified. every aspect of farming community can be gamified with little effort. Definitely that effort should be there, otherwise it is not possible. So in future collaborations, I'm always welcome, and these are my number and email. For any kind of game development projects or any kind of things, please contact me. And thank you so much. If you have any doubts, please ask me, and I'm ready to this thing along with
Thank you,
Altan.
sir, for the presentation. You have
Thank
showed
you.
our entire audience to look at the gamification of agriculture in another perspective. You have talked about the game development stages and stakeholders involved in it. Gamification in core agriculture practices may help to take right decisions by farmers and other stakeholders. Thank you for bringing up gamification tools and techniques with practical examples. Thank you, sir. Now we are
Thank you.
open for
Thank you.
the question answer session.
Already in
But,
chat box, some questions are there. Kindly check, Sakshi.
Yes, sir. One question is there from Dr. Pragya Goswami. How can we measure the effectiveness of gamification intervention in agriculture in terms of better technology adoption or better yield outcomes?
to me or Altan? Yeah, Altan, please go ahead.
Okay, Srinivas, thanks. I got some good experience about this topic, so I want to answer this question. So it's about data collection. The main point here is the collecting the data. So we will, so there should be two gamification process in gamifying the agriculture. First, you will gamify your goal, okay? For example, better yield outcomes, okay? Or technology adoption, that's okay. That's your main goal. But your sub goal should be collecting the data. Farmers are very conservative about sharing their data, maybe you know, or it's like this in Turkey. But when you use the hook model, when you give them some carrots, some good rewards, then they are tend to share their data. So you will use the gamification first to collect their data, and then you can measure the effectiveness of your main gamified goals. Okay, that can be the answer.
I hope Dr. Pragya ma'am question is answered. Now next question from Aishwarya is first question is for Altan sir. How can gamification systems prevent or detect false reporting by farmers aiming to gain rewards without actual implementation?
Okay, let me see. How can gamification systems prevent or detect false reporting? Okay, so maybe Srinivas can answer this question more effectively. But for me, for example, we are using GPS methodology to check the data if they're sharing their data from their own field. Okay, because sometimes our customers, our farmers, are using their application in their relatives' farms. Then we are thinking about this. Okay, this data is coming us from, for example, Altan's field, but no, Altan was in his cousin's place, and then the data from his cousin's field is coming to us. Okay, so there we are using GPS methodology. Okay, and then you can use outliers. It comes to data science. In data science, we have some outliers in our data. If it's a false data entry, your AI-based system should recognize it and delete it as it's an outlier data. Okay. Maybe Srinivas can answer this more effectively. Okay. It was the first questions of Aishwarya. Yeah.
Sir, her second question is, how can non-visible improvements be tracked and incentivized in a gaming system?
Me again? Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Can you come once again?
Or may I?
Yeah, please go ahead. Just I talked with my colleague here. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Can you explain the question once? I missed it.
Yes, sir. Her question is, how can non-visible improvements be tracked and incentivized in a gamified system?
Yeah, understood. These days, even computer vision and all the the new technologies are coming, which will identify so many other things which are not possible today. In the future, near future, though we may think that those are not visible, but definitely the new technologies are able to identify our invisible things. We call it as invisible, means we may think that we are hiding them, but these technologies can identify very easily even the microscopic level of our senses and our expressions and everything. If you really think that that is the primary goal, even we want to go to that level, there are a lot of technologies are developing, and we can use those things to incorporate in the entire data collection system and the analysis system. I hope clarified.
Thank you, sir. I hope Ms. Aishwarya's question is answered. The next question is from Gaurav. He's saying he is student of agribusiness and what he can take next steps according to future and how can use effective in agribusiness sectors.
Yes. In agribusiness, like that is what, for example, if he's starting now, he should not think the old way of doing the things, right? He has to, for example, 20 years back or 10 years back, even e-commerce is the primary thing. So agribusiness, if someone is studying agribusiness now, I recommend to use these gamification technologies like XR, Metaverse, and all this part of the gamification only, the broader umbrella. They can build new kinds of markets virtually and new kinds of games virtually, and that can be used as a tool for reaching the farmers and reaching the consumers. And there are so much of opportunities out there. Even I say that he has to use the same question to the AI tool, and he has to explore, because it's not possible to give in a 1 minute or 2 minutes answer. If I'm the person, I go to the ChatGPT and Claude, and I spend at least 1 day to ask all the kinds of things. Like I'm in agribusiness. Give me how to use the technologies, recent technologies, and to develop new kinds of things, how to build my own business, otherwise how to become good in agribusiness, how to uh, take agribusiness to the farmers, what is the new technologies I can use. There are so many questions that guy can ask, and at the end of few hours he will get a complete action plan. And of course, as I told you, we have to use this, otherwise they will take in a different direction. And but with the AI tools, with these gamification technologies, and with our intention and effort, that guy can come with a wonderful action plan and wonderful ideas. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So next question is from Ms. Rakshita. How can one start their journey from UG to this gamification operations?
Okay. Yeah. As I told you, I told you, right? First, she has to understand all the entire process of game development, like ideation, design, development. Just briefly, first they have to be familiar with those things. And I recommend highly the Coursera courses, because they're almost, I think, free to complete the courses, and to get the certification they cost around 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees. I think they are less than 10,000 rupees. I've done my XR and augmented reality, virtual reality courses from Coursera only. It cost me around 7,000-8,000 for 3 months, because that's based on months. First, try to complete some courses on Coursera, or even free courses on YouTube, something like that. First, get the complete idea about game development and as you know, you are already familiar with agriculture, so no need to worry. But these game concepts, you have to understand. This is just a 1 hour presentation. Like this, at least you have to spend at least 10, 20, 30, 50 hours to understand all these things. Then once after understanding the gaming part, once after the agriculture part, then they will get the ideas how to implement that into different uses and different use cases and commercial use or service oriented use kind of. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I hope Ms. Rakshita, your question is answered. Next question is from Narsima Reddy. Is it possible to combine remote sensing technology and gamification and GPS technology and AI technology in real time to control crop pest, weed control, or is there any scope?
Yes, of course. Answer itself is the question itself is answering already. Remote sensing means it is all, it gives the what is that the land position, land details, and everything. Lot of data, right? Then AI tools can be used to ideate and to build, to design, to do whatnot. Everything can be done, and XR metaverse, forgot what you asked, but all these technologies are emerging technologies. Definitely, they can be integrated, no doubt about it. Not can be, frankly speaking, if you are my close friend, I'll say that you must do. They can be, they take time, no doubt about it. Learning, one has, just like earlier, that to some other person I told, like first learn the gamification from Coursera or somewhere, YouTube or somewhere. The same thing here also, like learn all the things, can learn all those things. And if I really imagine I have some agriculture knowledge, AI knowledge, XR knowledge, if I work for at least 1 week or 2 weeks, definitely I can come up with some great ideas for using all these technologies. It may take a month, no doubt about it, but we can finalize some idea to implement. Yeah, it's possible. You're muted, madam.
Sorry. Thank you, sir. I hope Mr. Reddy, your question is answered. Any other question?
In
Sir,
animals,
Mr. Dr. Devesh Gupta is asking, can we use this one in animals?
I actually need little more clarity about the question. It is possible. Definitely in animals, in what way you want, I'm not understand. I mean, animal husbandry, you mean to say?
Dr.
Maybe I could
Devesh,
say
can you
something
please?
here, Srinivas.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please, Alt.
Yeah. First, I will add something to Rakshita's question. First, maybe you should choose your focus, because there are 4 main focuses in gamification. One is the computer science and software engineering. The second is behavioral science or psychology. The third is UI and UX design. And fourth is marketing and business. Okay. Gamification can work in 4 different focuses. So maybe first you should choose a focus for you. And then, as Sinema said, you should attend some Udemy or Coursera or other or YouTube courses, and you can increase your knowledge about it. Okay. And for the last question, for using in animals, okay, yeah, in husbandry, in livestock management, you can use gamification, or we should say that you can use gamification in any case of real life. But the first thing, you should find a scope, find a goal, find a real-time goal. Okay, if you find a goal, if you find a problem that should be solved, and if you validate it, that can be solved with gamification, yes, then you can solve every real-time problem with gamification.
100%.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for joining the webinar. It's already 8:10 p.m. Webinar needs to be ended. I thank both the speakers for their insightful presentation, and I thank you, I thanks our director, Dr. Sarvanan Raj sir, for providing this opportunity to organize the Evening for Learning webinar. He has been our guide in every step of organizing this. Thanks to all the participants for actively asking the questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Altan and
Thank you.
Srinivas. It is very interesting and very informative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Altan, for collaborating and
Thank you,
giving the wonderful
Thank you,
presentation.
every people here.
Yes,
Thanks for your
everyone.
time.
I'm thankful to everyone. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, sir,
team,
for
all the members.
coordinating.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.